Yeah, hello and welcome to another episode of the weekly Spielworxx chat season 2. My name is Uli Blennemann. It has been a really busy week over here so far, and outside finally the weather has improved a lot. It is late spring, early summer weather, so really nice outside as well, which is of course a nice change over here in Germany. And we are having lots of news today. So let me immediately start with Tharos. And as you may know, we have had the player mats, so the mats for the player tableaus, mats, boards for the individual players punched through so that the cube markers could not shift, for example, from 4 to 5 or to 3. So all real nice. And the holes are 10 millimeters. And the cubes are also 10 millimeters. And therefore, of course, they cannot fit. And let me stress that Tharos is fully playable right now, but however, it looks real stupid. So we have ordered new cube sets in 8 millimeters, which of course will be mailed to all customers. So if you've ordered at Spieleschmiede, at Kickstarters, from my website, to all customers free of charge, and mea culpa maxima. It's, yeah, well, not that nice. On more positive Tharos news, the official Tharos solo mode by Bernd should be ready in about 10 days, and I will then offer it to anybody interested. And yeah, I'm seeing in the chat, hello Nick, bonjour Uli, wow, so what an introduction. Hello Nicolas, good seeing you. Matthias, good seeing you. And Matze is here vom Spieletreffen Verteiler, excellent seeing you. By the way, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat window and I will respond. And let me start here with a question to all of you. So which game or games did you enjoy recently? And I will check the chat and get back to you. So let me know which games did you enjoy recently. There is Gut Wolfka. Hoi Uli. Yeah. Hoi. Good seeing you. The Smoky Valley by Claude Serrois. This game is making great progress right now. And thanks to all the vessel testers who have tested earlier versions, the current version. And this game is, as you may know, scheduled for later this year. And let me show a screenshot from a recent game from last Sunday. So let me see if I get this up. Just a second. So now you should see the board. Of course, what you're seeing is just playtest material. So this is the Griffintown area with 5 districts here. So McCord, St. Anne, Wellington, Le Bassin, I guess, and St. Gabriel. And then here on the left side is a now included city development module, which has had lots of changes. So and here you see the canal section, so you can develop the canal in the game and you can first widen it and then develop it. I mentioned the city districts, and the canal itself is over here, and there are ships going out to, so you can load the ships with goods. They're going out to Great Britain, to the US or to the West Indies. And let me also show you the blue players player board. So there is a ship over here and it shows where I'm currently the blue player is. So these are the 5 districts, and the cards show you the individual actions that you can do while at that location. So this is really an expert game. So it's a notch above squaring Circleville, and as I said, this game should be out late this year. And again, thank you to all the testers who have tested and who are currently testing the game. Let me just check Games. Nick is saying, first game after lockdown, A Feast for Odin. Shame it needs expansion to make collecting animals worthwhile. Yeah, Feast of Odin or Feast for Odin is a beast in my opinion, because it has so many different available actions. It's actually not my favorite Rosenberg game. And it's good, Nick, of course, that you're mentioning first game after lockdown, so that the UK is out of this lockdown. Matthias is saying, my version of Tharos will arrive tomorrow. Excellent service with the cubes. Don't be too hard on yourself. Yeah, well, when I got this notice, it was quite a shock. But thank you very much, and thank you all for your support recently here. And Good Wolf FK saying, of course, Oath. Yeah, Oath. This is something here. So I'm really looking forward to to dive deeper into that game. Matthias is saying, currently still Adventures of Robin Hood from Cosmos, still a good game. Maybe, or let's put it that way. Most probably, this is a good game. Great artist, good designer. But I hate it. I think I mentioned this earlier here. I hated the marketing campaign by Cosmos so much that they send out, and of course they have the power, and it's what is done these days. They send out stuff to all bloggers, to all people who could promote the game. And then suddenly I opened Twitter and saw the same pictures, or basically the same pictures all day, and I hated it. So I haven't touched the game. So you see, with some old guys like me, a marketing campaign, and probably a really well done campaign, backfired. It can happen. Of course, the big Spielworxx event this week is the Kickstarter and Spieleschmiede release of Matt Wolf's Squaring Circleville. And this is happening on Thursday, so 2 days from now, June 3rd at 10 a.m. EDT, 4 p.m. CET, which is for bloody Germans 16 Uhr. So at 4 p.m. CET on Thursday, the campaign starts. And here is the URL. So for the preview of the campaign, if you are thinking in Kickstarter campaigns who make millions of dollars or euros and have 100 different videos, this is definitely not in Spielworxx abilities right now. So this again is a very modest campaign, but hopefully you like it. And if you already would like to test online Squaring Circleville, you can do so. So you can try the game using Tabletop Simulator, you can try it on Tabletopia, and you can try it on Vassal. And you will find the link to all these mods on my website, so spielworxx.de, in the news section. And scroll down a little bit, because there are also in the news sections of my website some text on the background of Squaring Circleville and on the action rondel and on the various actions in the game. And Matt, there is that fantastic designer of Squaring Circleville, and yes, it is limited to 700 copies. Why? I'm getting to this a little bit later. There's already a question. Is there a normal pre-order on the website instead of Spieleschmiede? Yes, there is. So right now, for me, for visibility, for various reasons, Kickstarter is most important. Spieleschmiede has proven that it can be a very good partner for Tharos, so I'm using Spieleschmiede as well. When both campaigns are done, yes, there will be a limited number on my website to order. So if you don't want to support Kickstarter for whatever reason, don't want to support Spieleschmiede for whatever reason, you can do so on my website after the campaign is done. Just a second. So, because it's sunny outside, and I noticed that this sunny, well, from the screen is getting in. So yes, it's possible, and of course, you're welcome. And because I'm seeing Matt here, if you check out the Spielworxx chat episode of May 11, you get a full teach of the game by the designer himself. And let me briefly bring up the URL for that episode so you can check this out here. And hello Ben, good to see you. Hopefully life in California is fantastic right now. There are also for Squaring Circleville already some playthrough videos available, and both in English language and also in German language. And there will be another German language video going public on Thursday. But right now here is English and German language, and this again seems to be an episode of posting URLs. So this is for English, I think, and this is for German. And please remember, all of these playthrough videos were made using the online mods. So I think Ella used Tabletopia, the German one used Vessel, the other one will use TTS, so all mods. But of course it's different if you have the physical game with thick cardboard or have an online implementation, so there is some difference. Matthias is saying, I will play it online with Smuka in the next days, looking forward to it. Thank you very much, and of course my regards to Smuka to Andreas here, so I'm really looking forward to what you are thinking about it. And important, and I'm now getting back to the numbers. Squaring Circleville is again, and now let me interrupt you here for Chris. Of course, for Chris I'm interrupting immediately. He's saying hello Chris, but because Chris did the fantastic TTS mod of the game. So that's why I'm immediately interrupting. Thanks again for this great stuff there. But Squaring Circleville is again a 1,000 copies release. And I was promised early this year to get this time enough wood to have an unlimited number at Kickstarter and Spieleschmiede. But apparently European game publishers right now are buying everything everywhere in Europe. So I'm just able to get within a decent time frame 1,000 wooden sets for Squaring Circleville. And this actually, in my opinion, is nightmarish. And I mean, you as a customer, you couldn't care less, because all the games from all major companies, they will be available in time or in a short time, and there won't be a problem. But in my opinion, this is really, really very dangerous for gaming culture, because it makes access to the market and penetrating the market so much more difficult for smaller and independent companies in the future. Basically, Spielworxx, I'm driven to China in the future, and you know all the problems that are related ethically with Chinese production. There are others, and of course shipping from China is very costly now, so the prices for shipping have increased too. And all this, so the wooden prices and all this, of course, have translated to hugely increased paper prices. So I guess that in the future gaming prices on average will increase quite a bit, because paper, for books, for magazines, for newspapers, everything is increasing by a large margin. And Chris, he's planning to play a 4-player game of it tonight, so looking forward to this. Hopefully you'll enjoy it, because you made the mod, so you need to enjoy it. And Matt is asking, do you think this factory situation is temporary or the new normal for Europe? I think for the time being it is the new normal. There are several reasons for this. One reason is that game production in Europe, also in China, but in Europe has increased a lot. And so right now it's very difficult for small publishers to get any print time in a European factory. Because I have an excellent relationship with my printer in the Czech Republic, I can print almost at any time, although they have larger jobs, but they will make sure that I'm able to print. So that's wonderful. But the printing situation for some other companies who would like to print in Germany at Ludofakt, if you want to print, have the game now, you have to wait till next year. Totally nightmarish. But another huge problem is wood. So my manufacturer in the Czech Republic, they are printers, cardboard, paper and all this, but they are not doing wooden parts. So in Europe there are very few specialized manufacturers for wooden game pieces, because this is not such an easy thing to do. And you need to have skilled laborers, and you need to have a large production. But you see, the current ones, they have enough to do full time, so they are very happy. So it's not necessarily that they will increase production over the next couple of months. This also is related to that in the EU, in the European Union, we have this law that you can't simply cut a tree and then make small pieces out of it, then put color on it and then put it in a box, and then it's off. I think the current EU regulation, and I'm not really sure if this is totally true, is 18 months. So if you cut a tree, it has to dry for 1.5 years. And then you may use it for production, because wood is a living thing. There is water in it, and that's why sometimes from China, although China is improving in production, they are cutting the stuff. And so if you open the box, first you smell it, but then sometimes you see small things on the wooden parts. So this is something that is difficult. So if there is a huge demand on wood, then it's not easy. You need to cut a lot more trees in the next couple of months to reach the former level again. So this is really a big problem. And of course, moving to China is not such a good solution for a lot of companies. First, getting games over from China in small numbers, where I'm filling less than a container, is costly in normal times, but the transportation, shipping costs have increased dramatically. So yeah, we'll see. And again, you as your standard customer, you can say, I'm getting my regular supply. But for gaming culture, this is, in my opinion, difficult, because access to market is not, well, it never was the same for all companies, large and small, but it's getting more and more difficult and harder and harder. It would be that, of course, if you look at movies, the huge Hollywood blockbusters, when cinemas were open, they were dominating everything. But you had your several independent movies in smaller numbers. But this would now be that you only get blockbusters. So the next 12 months, 18 months will certainly be interesting. I hope this made some sense. And Jonas is saying it's like a good whiskey. Yeah, it's wood and whiskey, so there is a connection. I think so. Yeah, but these are safety regulations, and I really think these safety regulations are fine, are really good. And I was visiting the wooden plant in the Czech Republic, so there's a wood outside, and then for the last 4 or 6 weeks they put them inside, so in rooms where the wood can finally dry. So it makes sense, but yeah, right now, because there are so many games have been printed during the pandemic, it gets difficult. Um, yeah, and anyway, if you are interested in getting squaring Circleville, Kickstarter and Spieleschmiede are your best bets. Um, yes, there will be games on at my website afterwards. There are also copies going definitely to Japan, to Canada, very few to Australia. But the game won't go into distribution because it's just a 1000 print run in the nearer future, if at all. So we'll see. And some hard facts here on Squaring Circleville: the game is for 1 to 4 players. And in my opinion, my humble, honest opinion, of course I'm biased, but I think it's mechanically and thematically one of Spielworxx' finest games. And if you are a solo gamer, Squaring Circleville includes 4 different solo bots with always different strategies. And yeah, hopefully you'll support this game. I would be really, really grateful. Other news, John Company is still in development by Whirligig, but it looks like right now that I'm able to localize the game into German language in September. Formerly it was localization starts in August, probably it is September. Pax Pamir German edition is on track for October-November release here in Germany, so as planned. Of course, the big question mark is shipping from China, because that game is produced in China. So, but right now it looks real good. Production is even ahead of time, so all fine there. And Matt is saying, yes, if you support Squaring Circleville, he would be also very grateful. You brute. Of course. And you did a great job there, Matt. Conventions. Asmodee United States, so Asmodee USA has announced that they won't participate in Gen Con this year. Other publishers have announced the same, including some major one, for example Paizo it is probably. And no statement by Asmodee is out regarding Origins, which is 2 weeks after Gen Con, but of course first in Ohio and not in Indiana, and then Origins is also roughly half of the size of Gen Con. But still, I found this very interesting news, because it's not only core Asmodee, it seems to be that all the other studios and companies like Fantasy Flight, like Z-Man, that they are not attending Gen Con this year. And here in Europe, Asmodee Germany, well, it would be the HQ in France, so more or less Asmodee France, they have made no statement yet regarding Essen in October. And you see, of course, this is a couple of weeks after Gen Con. Gen Con is mid-September, Origins late September, and Essen mid-October. So every 2 weeks we are having these large conventions. And my gut feeling here is that Asmodee, Europe, France, Germany, they will attend Spiel in October. But of course I may be wrong. But as Asmodee here at Spiel is basically renting the full front hall, the largest hall, alone in Essen, this would be a severe blow for Spiel, and if they decide to not attend. So let's see what will happen there. Coming to games here, I've read the rules to this game, to hopefully pronunciation is fine, to Cryo by Z-Man Games, after reading the review by the master himself, by Dan Thoreau. And here is a link to that review. Let me just show it. So again, it's masterfully written as usual. And in Cryo, the players are stranded on a frozen, unknown planet and need to survive. And despite this theme, this is very much a Euro type game. And the rules are really short. So basically there are it's a 12-page booklet, but basically the true rules are just 4 pages, starting on 6 and then ending with Spielende, surprisingly, game end, on 9. The other 2 pages or 3 pages at the end are card descriptions, and of course you have the usual stuff at the front, so describing all the components and the general sequence of play. So it's really short rules, and the game has a worker placement aspect plus multi-purpose cards. And I haven't played the game yet, but it sounds really interesting. Yet what I was wondering is, you may have read this Z-Man statement that they are closing their classic Eurotype line, and that they will discontinue these classics. And let me also, this is a URL episode, I guess. Let me just show you the link to this text here from Z-Man Games. And they do even mention Cryo in that text at Z-Man, stating that they are breaking exciting new ground. Well, apart from this theme, I can't say so, but maybe, and I would like to know your opinion on this, maybe it is this more modern theme. So we have a spaceship and it is collapsing and we are landing on an unknown frozen planet instead of trading in the Mediterranean. Maybe it is this more modern theme. Maybe it's also the different graphics here. It's a different style in Cryo. And by the way, I do not like the graphic style on Cryo very much. Can you see this? There's some plastic included as well. I don't like it too much, but this is just me. But this came as a surprise to me. So first, discontinuing the Euro Classics line, because they are saying, Z-Man is saying, we are not an indie publisher anymore. I totally get it. They need to move some real numbers. But then Cryo, typical Euro type stuff. Sounds interesting. I don't want to say anything negative on the game. I'm really, really looking forward to the game, but it came as a surprise. And if you have an idea why this is, please let me know. Or is there anybody out there who has yet played the game? This is, by the way, the German edition of this game. And other games I played recently which I liked, and I've shown this briefly here, is Rift Force. Let me just get it, because I forgot it. At least I found it immediately. So this is this smallish card game by a new Austrian publisher. It's One More Time Games, but this, you should check this out if you are into quick two-player card games, which are more of a dual kind stuff. But it's really nice. Playing time is less than 30 minutes and really, really well done. And if I remember correctly, the game was on the long list for Game of the Year this year, so Empfehlungsliste. So well done. And Matt, he of course has an answer. On the Euro line, they overpriced and oversized that Modern Classics Euro line. That's a problem. Instead of $50 and in a 12-inch square box, it should have been $40 in the rectangular box. Okay, this made sense. So too pricey and too large a box. Ben is saying, I think that the older games tended to have a smaller range for their best player counts and had more generic themes. As Matt Wolf is saying, the big price tag and over large boxes killed the appeal of the reprints outside of increasing availability. Makes also a lot of sense. Yes, so it was Princes of Florence and some others that really did not play well or at all with 2, and of course these huge boxes, they are doing something for player expectations, that there must be something inside that is more than your typical Euro game. So it's more like in line with some Fantasy Flight huge boxes. So that was the problem. Yeah, Cryo, I don't have the box here handy, at least has a pretty compact rectangular box. Definitely this is not a box filled by air. I don't know the price of the game, I must admit. I think it retails for 50 euros in Germany, but I may be wrong. So it's definitely not cheap, but I fear that the German edition print run is pretty small for that game. So I guess it's not more than 1,000 or 1,500 in German in a German edition. So although I may be wrong. Matt is confirming it. They made it as a 12-inch box to justify the price they wanted to charge. Yeah, always a bad idea. Yeah. Ben, also the choices for component were a bit poor. I added the auction surprise, Asmodee Germany. Here's a Twitch rage suggestion for after the stream. Asmodee Germany. So at Asmodee Germany. Oh no, this is Spieletreffen. So I'm because of scrolling. Also, let me get back to Ben. Also, the choices for component were a bit poor. I added the auction token from the old Priests of Ra to the Ra reprint, as they are so much better than the cardboard shits in the reprint. Yeah, that is bad. If you are going back to an old edition to have the new edition look better, always a bad idea. Spieletafelverteiler. So now I'm here. If you want to surprise Asmodee Germany for after the stream, Asmodee Germany. You know, Matze, they always want to buy Spielworxx. It's too dangerous to be in touch with Asmodee Germany, so I have to be real careful there. But yeah, so let's see what Cryo, how Cryo is faring at Z-Man Games, and I will play it soon. I'm really interested in playing it, and then I will report back. Matt is saying Uli is Asmo ready. I'm always Asmo ready. So good one. I like it a lot. So we are closing for today, but please remember the Squaring Circle will Kickstarter and Spielesmiede campaign starting on Thursday. The Kickstarter campaign is starting at 10 a.m. EDT or 4 p.m. CET, which is 16 Uhr. And really, thank you all very much for your support. And next week we are having a guest here. It is Spielworxx designer David Short. David did, of course, Ground Floor, second edition for Spielworxx, but he has designed a lot more very interesting titles. And he's a wonderful person anyway, so I was looking forward to talk to him for a long time, and I'm happy that it will now happen next week. Thank you all for your time. If you would like to see a special topic discussed or have a specific question that you'd like to ask in advance, drop me a mail at uli@spielworxx.de. That is uli@spielworxx.de. And so till next week, bleibt alle gesund, Black Lives Matter. Bye bye.